Road rage violent is a real threat in our area where a horn, a gesture, or even slowing down or speeding up at the wrong time can be interpreted as aggressive, escalating an incident.
Yeah, just this week, Houston police arrested 2 suspects in 2 separate road rage killings. But police are still searching for the suspect who shot and killed 17-year-old Louise Wilson in a road rage shooting more than a month ago. And this morning, Louise's parents, Krista and Daniel, are joining us live. First, Krista and Daniel, I just want to say on behalf of everybody here at KPRC, we are so sorry for what happened to your daughter. Can you, and I admire you for, keeping this story at the forefront of everybody's mind. So thank you again for joining us this morning. And for viewers who might not have heard about what happened, can you just briefly explain what happened on that day?
Yes, Louise was going to the beach with a couple of her friends and was driving through Houston on 45 at the Pierce Elevated about 1 a.m. She had swerved to miss an accident, and the vehicle that she had inadvertently cut off had pulled up beside her and emptied probably a magazine full into her car, hitting her in the chest and then other spots in her body. And her friend in the back seat, and was able to pull the vehicle over to the side of the road safely, even though she was hit in the heart. And she died there on the side of 45.
Wow. I'm so sorry. I just learning a little bit about Louise. She had just graduated, correct, in May?
Yeah, we homeschooled her, but concurrently, she was also attending community college and was just a few credits short of her associates. And she was looking at future in law enforcement. She really loved animals and wanted to work with canines and be a police dog handler.
Yeah. I mean, the situation, as it seems almost all of these, so I say random in that she was not trying to, it's hard to know the details because the 2 other people in the car with her, one was shot and she's no longer with us, but it wasn't any sort of lead up or argument or fight. It was just random. What can you tell us about that?
Right. There wasn't, from what we understand from one of the witnesses, was that there wasn't any like jockeying back and forth. There wasn't any, protracted long, back and forth. It was the one incident, and then they pulled up and shot. The passenger in the back seat was unaware of even what was going on. So there wasn't even any dialogue in the car. Mm-hmm. So Louise wasn't talking about, hey, we got to get away from this guy. It was, one incident and then quickly they pulled up and shot. And then, from what we understand, there was, 8 to 9 bullet holes in the car. It was quite significant. And this person was ready to do this to our daughter, and it was just, so quick. It wasn't just some, it didn't go for miles down the road. Mm-hmm. It was very quick. The passenger said they barely even saw this person. So, it can happen to anybody. This person who did this, they were ready to do this kind of violence. Yeah. They had a gun at the ready. They were prepared for this type of an incident.
Yeah, and we are very concerned about other lives right now with this person still not being arrested, and we want them arrested just as much as you do. So, do you know the latest in the investigation? Do you have any new details?
About a week or so ago, we did do the Crime Stoppers, and they have announced an increased or enhanced reward of up to $20,000. There is a sketch out there, so I ask everybody to please just go to Crime Stoppers and share that picture of that car, share the sketch of that person to your social medias. Just let this person feel uncomfortable. We just ask that, you give them a reason to kind of just doubt people. Just this little red car, imagine it, could be your grandma's car. It was her grandma's car. Her grandma gifted her that car for her 16th birthday. So that could be your grandma, that could be your little daughter. Imagine that little car with so many bullet holes in it, and cars aren't bulletproof. They're very thin sheet metal. If you shoot into a car, you have to expect that you're going to kill somebody. You're not going to just scare somebody. These aren't BB guns. These aren't, small caliber things that, they do significant damage. And so we just ask the community, everybody, spread that sketch, spread this story, We're so thankful for our community here that has helped raise money for this reward. We're so thankful for everybody's prayers. So please keep praying
Yeah.
to find this person, for our family, for healing. I mean, and she's just impacted so many people across the country. So
You're right.
thank you so much for all the support from everybody. But, you know, bring this person to justice and get them out of your community.
Yes.
Because if they can do this, they'll do it again or something worse.
Right. So the sketch that we're seeing there on the screen is the sketch that you guys have come up with Crime Stoppers. We're looking for this man, someone who looks like that. The car is the car that Louise was in. That's the vehicle she was driving, right?
Yes.
And this happened on, just so that people know, it was December 10th.
Yes.
December 10th at about 1 a.m. on the Pierce Elevated there in Houston.
At I-45 Pierce Elevated, someone that you know who looks like this, who would be driving in that area at 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reward now stands at
$20,000.
$20,000. So if you know anything, if that sketch looks like somebody you may know who could be involved, give Crime Stoppers a call. What would you say to anybody, perhaps somebody who knows this person, or perhaps he's watching TV? What would you say to him?
Don't give them aid and comfort, let their conscience feel guilty to either, to either repent or to confess, that's really the only thing that can drive somebody like this. They're a little twisted already because of what they've done, but everybody has a conscience of some sort. So please just either encourage them to turn themselves in or call the Crime Stoppers and report it. You can report it anonymously. The number's there on their website, and get yourself paid. We're not, that's what the money's for. Her work raised money. And so just, that's what it's for.
Krista
Claim
and
that
Daniel
money,
Wilson.
claim that money and report them, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and we hope that this helps this morning and that we can report an arrest very soon.
Yeah, we're hoping for justice for your family. Our hearts break for you. Thank you for joining
Thank you
us
so
again.
much.
Thank you.